KLR video. So sorry, I got confused. Alright. I'll roll a clip of how this thing used to start when I first got it. Or for the sake of the matter, how it used to not start. You ran a minute ago. Oh my. Ready to throw this thing in the fire. Okay, now look at this. This is cold. Choke's on. Okay, ready? Ready? Ever seen a KLR start that good from cold? Well, it's looking nice. I got the fairing all on and wired up. I sprayed the upper panels with that Plasti Dip, that spray on rubber coating crap. But we'll talk about that more later. I got it together and the bike's been hard starting. Yes, I checked the kilometers on it. It's got 32,000 kilometers, I think, and I checked the spec for valve clearance intervals, and it's way over its interval for valve maintenance. I don't know what maintenance has been done on this bike previously in its life. I got no idea, so I guess I got no choice. I gotta pull off the lower tank shrouds and the tank and whatever crap's in the way and pull the valve cover off. It's a plug on the bottom, an inspection plug. I gotta roll it over to top dead center to my timing marks, and then I gotta go all the way up to the shop. It's a half an hour away for my feeler gauges. So anywho, I'll get started. So there's the valve cover off. Just a word to the wise, just unscrew your fan, get that out of the way. It seems like you can get it by bending the rad, but I had a hard time. Once I took that fan off, it was easy. So, your timing marks are there and there. And then, well, there and there, you can't see them, but there's a line, and those lines on your timing sprockets line up at the top edge of this and point to the front of your bike. And then when it's like that, there's a T here. But I can't get these marks to line up. They're, yeah, that's in the center. And then those marks are quite off, like they're that way. See how the timing marks are back? There's a chance, because this is a tight side of the timing chain. This is the driving side, and this is the slack side. So there's a chance the timing change just, well, yeah. See, maybe the timing chain just wore out. And that's the right timing chain would stretch and then whoop. So maybe the old girl just needs a new timing chain. Well, because that's right on the top dead center mark here. So that's how much it's out. I'm just going to, yeah, I'm just going to set the timing as is. Like I'm going to set the timing up and try it. Okay, so not an informational video. I'm just showing you what I did. So I turned it over so that my marks are lined up. Whoop, straight across where they're supposed to be. Then right, went on the old intro net, got my specs. Right, you take your feeler gauge and you shove it underneath between the valve and the cap. You know, here we go. You take your feeler gauge and you shove it between the valve and the cap. All 4 valves. Check what your clearances are. These were they're tight. So now what I'm going to do, since it's probably just because lack of maintenance, I don't think the valves ever been done on this. The timing chain has stretched out enough that it's out of time a bit. So I lined the marks up, got my measurements. Now I'm going to crank it over till the flywheel is at top dead center and not worry about these. Then I got to pull my cams out to get to the shims underneath the cams. So yeah, put it to the marks to get my measurements. Now I'm going to turn that to top dead center. I'm going to pull my cams out and get those caps out. So flywheel crank to top dead center, cams out. These are the cam buckets. Your valve springs and your valves are underneath there. And so shims set on top of all these. So there's my cams. And then here's all your valve shims that set on top. So they ride between your lifter, your cam bucket, and your cam, right? And they all have a number on them. That's their thickness. So I got my measurements for my feeler gauge. I have my specs. So now I gotta record these measurements and do the math on how thick these are and how much more clearance I need. So I gotta get thinner shims with the proper values to give me my proper specs. So I gotta just record these, go in the house, do the mathing, and order the shims I need. Alright, got my valve shims in the mail. You know, did my gorilla math, figure out what I needed, ordered my shims. Shims go in these pockets here. And then the cams are over there, so I'm just gonna put her back together here. Oh, my bad. I pretty much expected this. That I'm gonna put a new timing chain in, because you set this at top dead center and you screw around to get your best here, and it's off a little bit but not bad, but then by the time you get to here it's off quite a bit more. So then you line it up so these are lined up and this mark's way off, right? Because it's a relationship between this point to this point and then this point to this point. So by the time you get from there to there, it's quite a bit off. So the old timing chain stretch, so you know, you try to jump at a head of sprocket and it's too much, so I can't get the timing marks to line up within a reasonable amount. You know, it is tempting just to kind of put it together the best you can and run it, but this far, you know, I just got 2 bolts in this cover holding it. So phone Kawasaki, I ordered a timing chain, so might as well do her right, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to get this timing chain out of this old girl. So again, just the old $5 puller. You just take the outer cover off, 2 starter gears, and then that's it. You're right at, oh yeah, you got a outer cover, and then just pull your flywheel, and that crap all just slides off. It looks like the timing chain's right there, and as far as I know, it's all open between here. Okay, it's a 12mm wrench there and a 10mm wrench there, and it's just a chain guide thingy. Oh, anyways, I didn't even take the bottom one right out. See, that's the bottom one for this. I didn't even take it right out. I just loosened it up enough that I can move it enough to get the chain out past the sprocket here. So that's off. So I'm pretty sure I can just pull her straight out the top. And boom, I'll just let her hang like that for now. And I gotta wait another week to get a new timing chain. Blam! New timing chain from Kawasaki installed. And we are in time. So I think I'd recommend, see all these KLR videos, people showing you how to do the valve shims and the doohickey. I think if you get the tools for the doohickey and you have the flywheel off, and you're going to check your valves, like just change the timing chain while you're in there. Because if you got the top and the bottom off, you're right there anyways. So there we go. I was having a hard time with this one, and there was no clearance in the back, and I thought maybe the shim was too thick, so I was switching shims around, and I found out that I think the way this cam is machined, it must step up a bit bigger in here. So I think the cam was pushed all the way in and was binding. See, when you push it, it only pushes over that far. I think that was up against the cap and was binding it. So, anyways, enough screwing around. They're tight. The cams are, whoop, timing marks are lined up. Let's put her together. There we go. Shim to spec. Tighten her back in. Before you take the tightener and put it back in, you gotta take that bolt out and take the spring assembly out. And there's like a little ratchet thing in there. You gotta retract. Then you bolt this and then you put the bolt back in and it goes whoop, and retightens. But lots of videos on that, but anyways, we're in time. We're looking nice. Got her all back together. I cranked it over one full cycle and rechecked my clearances. We're nice and loose, so she's going to be a nice running KLR. Oh my goodness, I should have filmed the first start. I've only started it for like half a second. So before, it would turn and turn and turn, and it would barely try to start like forever. And then last time I tried to start it, it wouldn't even start. It killed the battery. And once it finally bit, it would run. But oh man, like, dude, I turned the choke on. Here, look. Okay, so before it took forever to start. It's been sitting here cold for weeks. I just put it together. It's barely slammed together, and look. That's cold. The choke's on. Like, oh my goodness, it starts so good. Oh, listen to it. Look. Yes. 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 Oh, see, the throttle's like, it's right there. Before it would kind of like burble before it revved up. So people talk about valve shims and doohickey and this and that. The biggest issue with this bike was the valves. They were a bit tight and setting the valves helped. But the biggest issue was the timing chain. This timing chain was stretched and it was out of time. So there's all these videos on YouTube about the doohickey, because it's something that easy people can do, so everyone's posting videos on that. There's a few valve shim videos, but there's no timing chain videos. Like, while you're in there, change your timing chain. Like, do it. Your timing marks line up better, and like, night and day. This, oh, unbelievable. That's it. Nice. Wow, the super bald rear tire. I just drove right there and almost got squirrely. So, she's definitely a gigantic bike. But it's pretty sweet. Like, once you get going on it, it's nice and nimble and easy to ride on road. Gonna need a better back tire before I can do too much off-road, but so there she is together. There's some crash bars that came with it, and I gotta put the skid pan on. It's got the back bars for the panniers, but they're all twisted up and screwed up. I gotta fix those, so it's fine for now. I used that Plasti Dip stuff on these, and yeah, man, she came a long ways. Like, I don't know if you've seen it before. This was all apart in a bag, and I had to find all the little like screws and all the little parts, piece it all together. I thought this was gone forever, and I found it on my garage floor. So then, yeah, I had to wire up these lights. They're aftermarket lights, and just lots of crap. Went around, put all the fasteners in, went through what I had in stock for bolts, and was able to get enough bolts to get it all together. So this is a 2013, I believe, KLR 650. 33,000 kilometers on it. Right, just did the doohickey and the timing chain and the valves. Get a back tire on it, and yeah, man, maybe go on a massive adventure. It the steering's right twisted. It's right weird to drive, so I got to loosen up the front clamps and straighten the front end out. But other than that, yeah, man, I paid $500 or $400 for this bike, plus all the parts, but I doubt I'd have $1,500 into it by now. It's cool, eh? KLR 650.